Hello and welcome back to Suki's Vlogs. This video is about words and terms that are used to describe disabilities, chronic illness and mental health illness and what those words mean. Now a lot of these words, some of them are used in the wrong context sometimes. You know, some of them are used as jokes. Some of them you will understand, you will know about, some of them you won't. I've just basically picked the more common ones, and I've kind of made a few notes here on my phone to help me because of my brain fog. That's one there, brain fog or fibro fog. Basically that is a term to describe mental exhaustion or just exhaustion altogether, and it's where you become so exhausted due to chronic illness that your brain doesn't function properly. You start to forget things very easily. Your cognitive ability becomes impaired because you can't remember certain words, you know, and you know they're commonly used words as well. Memory is affected, you know, all that sort of thing. So there's the first one, and that one wasn't even on my list. That was a happy coincidence, that one. But yeah, next one, chronic. Now this one might be obvious. Chronic illness, chronically ill. Basically the word chronic means something that is long term or never ending. So basically if you're chronically ill, that means every day you are ill. Some days the symptoms might be a little better than other days, but it basically means you're not going to get better, you're always ill. So no amount of chicken soup is gonna fix it, you know. That's basically what chronic illness means. Now this one, I know a few people on my friends list on my social media pages are a bit confused about this, and that is the term spoony. So a lot of my friends have been asking me, why have you been posting stuff about spoons? What is all this about spoons? Basically spoony is a term used for people who identify with the spoon theory. Now the spoon theory is basically it's a like a guide or a level or a chart to show a measurement chart, a scale measurement chart, I suppose, on chronic illness. So to do with pain and chronic fatigue. So basically the more spoons you have, the more energy you have and the more things you're able to do. The less spoons you have means the less energy you have. So basically some people find it easier with the battery meter terminology, you know, because everyone has a mobile phone or a tablet or a laptop or an iPod or some device like that that has a battery meter. So, you know, battery's usually 100%, usually with a healthy person. And throughout the day, they slowly use up the percentage. But a person with chronic illness or disability starts with, let's say, maybe 50% battery life when they wake up in the morning. But by the time they've got out of bed, showered, dressed, made an ate breakfast, their battery meter has gone down to like maybe 20%. So then they have 20% battery to last the rest of the day on. So then they might go around, do a little housework like some vacuuming. That's going to take more of the battery. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, the next terminology, flare up. Now, I think a lot of you probably know what this one is and what this one means. It's quite obvious. Flare up basically is terminology used to describe symptoms that are getting worse, that suddenly get worse. So let's say you have a small headache, but you can cope with it. So you go about your day doing, your stuff, and then all of a sudden that headache becomes a monster of a migraine, and you just can't function anymore because the pain is so much. That will be a flare-up. So a flare-up of the symptoms. Hope that makes sense. Sensory overload is the next one. Now, a lot of you may know what this one means, some of you may not. But this terminology is mostly used with developmental disorders such as autism. It's also used in chronic illnesses such as fibromyalgia and stuff like that. Sometimes it can be used in mental illness as well. But sensory overload basically means it's an assault on your senses. So if you think touch, taste, smell, hearing, sight, all those type of things, if you're getting all that at once, your brain overloads and can't deal with it. So you start getting very confused and very anxious. With fibromyalgia, you can get sensory overload due to pain and fatigue. The chronic pain, the chronic fatigue, the brain fog, all that hitting you at once, especially when the chronic pain has flared up, where it's like on the pain scale of 1 to 10, 1 being good, 10 being, oh my God, kill me now. When it's at 10, that is major sensory overload. So your brain can't cope with it. So your brain overloads, basically, like a computer. When you tell a computer to do too many things at once, the computer crashes and freezes and lags. That's basically what sensory overload is in a human being. It's your brain crashing. So that's that one. Next one, high functioning. Again, this is used a lot in developmental disorders such as autism. Hello, Fluffy. Get lost, Fluffy. Sorry, my cat wants to get attention. But yeah, high functioning is usually, again, used in developmental disorders such as autism. It can also be used in mental health disorders such as anxiety and depression. But high functioning basically means you're someone who can function relatively normal in public. So you can hide your symptoms. You put on that mask of the smiles and the happiness, and you go out and you're all sociable with everyone. And you can function throughout the day, but then as soon as you get home and you close your front door, you fall to pieces, and you can't function. And that is where it gets difficult for people like me who are high functioning, because medical professionals and support professionals think, oh, you don't need the help, you don't need the support because you're able to function on your own, because they haven't seen what you're like at home behind closed doors. So yeah, that's basically what high functioning means. means. Now, the last one, last but not least, is one of my pet peeves lately. It's been annoying me. And that's the word trigger or triggered. And it's been used in the wrong context a lot lately on social media. And to be honest, a lot of the time it can be quite offensive and quite insulting. And I think a lot of the people don't realise, they just see it as a joke. They don't realise that it's taking away from what the actual word actually means. And basically triggered or trigger, a trigger is something like an upsetting, stressful, traumatic event or activity that happens to you, and that will trigger your symptoms. Such as, let's say you get fired from your job, then your dog dies, and you get a red letter from your landlord saying you owe a lot of rent. All that may trigger depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and on the physical side, let's say if you're someone with chronic fatigue and chronic pain, let's say if you were to go out for a night with friends and you're out dancing around with friends, walking around, drinking, and you're out all night with them, then when you get home the next day, all that activity would have triggered your symptoms or triggered a symptom flare-up. So basically, the way it's being used in social media at the moment, and a lot of people are using it as if someone states their opinion or states that they dislike something, then they are mocked at by using the word triggered. So like if someone talks about politics or religion, a lot of the time people go, oh, triggered. No, they're not triggered, they're just stating their opinion. So it's really stupid that people are using triggered like in this manner, because it's taken away from what it truly means. And I mean, I've had it before, I've had people, like there was one occasion we were out with a group of friends and we were all sat talking, having a conversation, and there was one friend who likes to talk with his hands a lot like this, which is alright, I don't mind, but he was accidentally elbowing me, which I didn't mind. I just said, oh, sorry mate, can you stop elbowing me? You accidentally elbowing me. Can you stop doing that? It's kind of annoying, thank you. And his reply was, oh, triggered, and he thinks it's just a joke, which fair enough. And I know he didn't mean anything nasty towards me, but he doesn't understand what the word truly means and what that word means to me and how that word will affect me, because I felt insulted and belittled by it, really. Because him accidentally elbowing me, he didn't know at the time, because I've got chronic pain and I've got all these fucking issues with mobility and hypermobility and loads of issues. Him accidentally elbowing me in the ribs and stuff, that was causing me a lot of pain and discomfort, so that's why I politely asked him to stop. But I didn't make a big deal of it all. I was just like, yeah, right, funny, and just got up and walked away. But you know what I mean? That's what the word means, and it's silly to use these words and terminologies as a joke, So don't use triggered. Stop using triggered as a joke. Stop using it on social media, especially if you don't understand what it truly means. Stop using words like that. Learn what they mean before you use them. You could be insulting people and offending people and upsetting people without knowing it and without wanting to, you know. So think before you speak and think before you act. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video here because it's like nearly 16 minutes long. But thanks for watching, and do feel free to check out my Facebook page, and do feel free to share this video and whatnot, and I will be back again soon with another video about some other stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.